a conversation with a friend led to me going on a run, which I hated at this time. And on that run, I heard a quote from Jim Rohn that changed my entire life. And it's the basis of my life and the Miracle Morning now. And here's the quote: your level of success will seldom exceed your level of personal development, because success is something you attract by the person you become. And I realized I'm not dedicating time every day to becoming the person that I need to be to create the levels of success that I want. In other words, I want my life to improve, but I'm not dedicating time every day to my self-improvement. And it's like, I knew that, like, if someone would ask me, hey, do you need to get better to get, make your life better? Should you get better first? I'd probably be like, yeah, but I wasn't doing what you know you need to do. And so I decided, I went home, I did some research, and I basically came up with the six most sworn by personal development practices, by any expert or guru: meditation, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and journaling. And the next morning I woke up and I did all six of them from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., which was crazy for me. I wasn't a morning person. And 2 months later, my theory going into this could be the one thing that changes everything for me, but I had no idea how profound it would be. 2 months later, I had more than doubled my income. I went from being in the worst shape of my life to training for a 52-mile ultra marathon, which I completed a few months later. And it was just to show that, kind of to show the doctors, hey, tell me I can't walk, right? And my depression was gone within like 48 hours. So that's the kind of the general idea of how the Miracle Morning was born. And now there's tens of thousands of people around the world that, that are losing weight, they're increasing their income, they're quitting smoking, they're reading more, they're improving their relationships, everything as a result of making sure they start every day in the optimum way.
You say you have this sort of 5-step snooze-proof wake-up strategy. And can you just tell us what that is?
Yeah, it's funny. That is arguably the most important chapter in my book, but I never intended it to be, and I didn't know it would be, and it's the shortest chapter. And the reason is, the Miracle Morning does a very good job of getting you to understand that arguably the single most important improvement you can make in your life to improve your success is create that morning success ritual. And then it tells you what to do, the 6 practices, how to do them, how long you do them. But without that middle piece of, well, how do I get my butt out of bed? This book and the concept would have fallen flat on its face. Because people would have read it and be like, yeah, I was so inspired. And then but I couldn't get out of, I tried and I failed, right? Because we're all such snoozeaholics. So the 5-step snooze-proof wake-up strategy, I'll just give your listeners a few of the most important steps. Number 1, you've got to set your intentions before bed. Your last thought before you go to bed is almost always your first thought in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's why when when I was a kid on Christmas, right, I went to bed excited. I couldn't wait to wake up. It wasn't hard to get out of bed in the morning because you went to bed with the right intentions. And I realized that we can recreate that every day. So that's the first step. Set your intention. Second step, move your alarm clock as far across the room as possible. If it's by your bedside table, you're going to make the wrong decision every time because you're half asleep when you're making that decision. But if it's across the room and you got to get out of bed and now you're half awake, now it's easy. And last but not least, make sure you drink a full glass of water first thing in the morning, because by default, we're all dehydrated, which creates fatigue. You've got to replenish that, rehydrate first thing in the morning so that it's easy to wake up and, and make it an optimum day.